I'm Leo Walder for Kit Guru, and this is the Razer Blade, the new Razer Blade, specifically the Razer Blade with GTX 1060 graphics. This same model was launched early in 2016 with GTX 970M, so it looks the same, it's not the same. Let me just start Deus Ex benchmark running. That's running on ultra settings, which is what we usually use on Kit Guru. Now the screen is full HD. There are a handful of options that you get with this Razer Blade. You can configure it with 3 sizes of SSD, 256, 512 or 1TB. This is the 1TB, and 2 screens. There's Full HD, so 1920 by 1080, or there's a Quad HD, which is 3200 by 1800 with touchscreen. That adds about £300 to the price. The range of prices start at £1,750, go to £2,650, so £1,750 to £2,650. This particular model is almost plumbing towards the higher end, actually, £2,350. So the lesser screen on paper and the max storage. And it actually strikes me this is a very sensible configuration because GTX 1060, my notes say GTX 1070, I was confusing myself, I was referring to a different laptop. 1060 powers Full HD very nicely. Once you go beyond Full HD, 1060 will struggle, you'll be pulling back on image quality. My figures, because I'm also doing an Aorus laptop at the moment which has those GTX 1070s, I've confused myself with there. It's quite interesting to do a direct comparison of what graphics can power Full HD or 2K and higher resolution, such as Quad HD or 3K. 4K is a different ballgame, much harder. This works very nicely. Now this is running along at 34 frames a second on average, minimum 26. So it is playable, but not brilliantly so. You'll want to come back from ultra settings on Deus Ex. Then again, Deus Ex is a bang up-to-date game. And that's finished. Right, let's just shut that down. Now, while that benchmark was running, the laptop was working very hard. I could hear the cooling fans quite distinctly. The 2 intakes are on the bottom, close-ups, photos and such like on Kit Guru as per usual. And there are 2 coolers in these corners, and they expel air to the rear. No, it's kind of up the front. It's very strange. It's actually the back of the chassis, but that means that the air comes directly out and hits the hinge. Very strange. If you move the lid while it's working hard, you'll change the sound the laptop makes. It's very strange. I've never come across an exhaust system quite like it, but it's to do with the physical size of the chassis. It's very thin, 17.9mm thick, which is what, 3/4 of an inch if you're talking old money. It's a 14-inch on the diagonal screen, and I must confess the last time I saw a 14-inch would be some sort of HP Compact from the Arc, which would have been about that thick. This ultra thin 14-inch form factor is a new one on me, strangely so, and it works, which is my other feeling about the screen, that Full HD in that size, I've turned off scaling, it's down to 100%. It works just about. If you scale it a bit bigger, then certain software is almost not happy because it wants more real estate. When you go beyond Full HD and you start scaling it, you're either losing a load of icons off the screen, or you're losing data, I suppose, in a way. 14-inch, there's only so much you can cram on a 14-inch screen with Windows 10. Full HD, as far as I'm concerned, works beautifully. Anything beyond that doesn't really make sense to me on Windows. So it's thin, it's quite light, it weighs in at under 2 kilos. The Quad HD is actually very slightly higher than the Full HD by 50 grams, that's a detail. And interestingly, the power supply here, which is only a 165 watt unit, is absolutely tiny. In recent times, I've got used to various MSIs and Azuses and such like with hefty great power bricks, 230 watt, 330 watt, and some of them have 2 other things. They weigh 1 kilo apiece. This thing, you can put it in your pocket. So it is an eminently portable solution. Let me just open the lighting control software, which is, that's it, Razer Synapse, which is quite cutesy stuff. It's their control unit, which you can use to configure the keyboard and such like, which is an exercise and understatement. You can also use it for Chroma peripherals. So the keyboard itself is a bog ordinary. It's a standard chiclet keyboard. It's nothing special. It works perfectly okay, but considering how little thickness there is in the chassis, it's pretty darn tooting. It's backlit, and you can set videos, again, we'll be showing while I'm doing this, that you can pick breathing and other lighting patterns, but there's nothing too completely over the top. Most of them I frankly wouldn't choose to use, but the fact you have an option for off is quite nice. You can have fixed, and you can also vary the brightness. It does get quite bright. This is backed right down to that point there. Sliders here, it's there. When you whack it up, it does get bright, unnecessarily so. And I like that quite a lot. The touchpad is glass. I like that a great deal. The mouse buttons are very thin. I don't like that. I wonder if the logic is that people who are gaming are going to be using a plug-in mouse, therefore the mouse buttons don't matter. Yeah, kind of. But when you're mobile, when you're on the train or something, you don't want a mouse, you're using the mouse buttons. And a touchpad where you can just click on the thing anywhere would be good. Failing that, some bigger mouse buttons. That, not best impressed. The one thing I don't like about this laptop is the hinge cover is plastic. That's the only thing I can actually say I don't like. Everything else is impressive, to say the least. The aluminium chassis is good. As it says in that sticker there, the IPS matte display is very good. The fact they've gone for the Full HD option rather than Quad HD is superb. The processor is Skylake. It is specifically a Core i7-6700HQ, which runs at 2.6 gigahertz turbos to 3.5. Now, we've had Ivy Bridge, Kaby Lake launched, 7th gen launched this week at CES, and we've already reviewed it on Kit Guru. If this was Kaby Lake rather than Skylake, it would make, I am quite certain, not a scrap of difference. I just cannot believe for 1 second it would. Battery life on our Loop PC Mark was just over 3 hours, so in the real world that's 6 hours, which is, well, that's fine, isn't it? No problems there. Ports and connectors. You've got some, I like the Razer thing where they take their green colour. So you've got one USB 3 in green there, you've got a Thunderbolt next to it, you've got HDMI out, you've got Kensington lock. Why Kensington? I've never seen a Kensington lock tether in my life. They may exist. If they do, I've not seen it. That is weird to my mind. And then on this side, we've got 2 more USB 3s and a single multifunction audio jack, and obviously the power jack is next too. The speakers are there in the top of the deck. They work very nicely, perfectly adequate. Obviously headphones will give you a better experience. This is always true, but that's fine. When the thing is working hard, it gets reasonably hot. So the CPU idles at 33, goes to 86 under extreme load. I'm talking Ada 64 extreme load, not gaming, okay? This is unnatural load. The GPU idles at 40, goes to 80 under extreme load. Now the interesting thing there is, as far as I'm aware, that is hotter than the previous GTX 970M, and it strikes me that Razer has sorted the cooling system such that they know it's going to get that hot, but no hotter, and the cooling system compensates. And they've walked a fine line whereby the temperatures remain obviously limits they're happy with, and yet it's not overly loud. This is quite bizarre to me because I can hear the cooling working hard when the thing's under load. It's a tiny, tiny chassis. It has to work hard, and yet it's not annoying. It's something to do with, I can hear the fans spinning up, I can hear them get louder, but the pitch doesn't seem to change, and it's something quite extraordinary. Other laptops, when the fans are spinning hard, and they also go up in pitch, and you get like a whiny kind of thing going on, aggravating as hell, particularly when the thing dances around, and then you can hear it going step, up, down, up, down, up, down. Absolutely infuriating. This, it gets louder, it reacts very quickly. You can hear it getting going faster when it's getting hotter, then spinning down when it's getting cooler. It reacts almost instantly, and it works brilliantly well. Inside the thing, as you'll see, the RAM chips are soldered on the motherboard, which is obviously all part and parcel of their thing of keeping it thin, and we're talking SSD storage rather than hard drive. There is no space for a hard drive, obviously not, which means that the spec that you buy when you order the thing is the spec that you're stuck with. So that's just how it is. The aluminium chassis is a delight. I would strongly recommend that you buy a skin for the top and the bottom to protect it, because to scratch that would be a crime. The illuminated Razor logo in the lid I like. Thus, and my overwhelming sense with this is that this is a MacBook for Windows users. It seems in so many respects, the aluminium, the way it's machined from solid, the fact it's so thin, the fact it works well, blah, 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 it's just running Windows 10 rather than Mac OS. And I suppose you could say the same about the price as well. Like a lot, it might even make me actually look for a use for the Thunderbolt 3 port, because you have no need with this to use the Razer Core external graphics unit. I wouldn't have thought those GTX 1060 graphics will work with that screen absolutely perfectly. So you'll be looking for something else to plug in, some peripheral or some such, which is all well and good, which will be a first for me. So overall, Razer Blade with 1060 graphics rather than the previous 970M, love it to bits. The fact it's a 6th gen processor rather than 7th gen, couldn't care less. Absolutely couldn't care less. The 1TB SSD storage, a delight. I'm as happy can be. I'll be gutted to give this one back. If you like this video, thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down. Do click to subscribe. Do head to KitGuru to see photos and such like and get more details. I'm Leo Ward for KitGuru. This is the new Razer Blade.